It's other yellow hat guy here, back with another video. I probably did that in the wrong order, but everything's wrong in this, but it might be wonderful. Isn't that right?
You're up late tonight.
I am. I'm up very late tonight. Y'all didn't think I was gonna let the whole day go by and not pick up this controller here with my Mario Bros shirt on and not play Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 meet up in Bell Park and not record any of it. So let's actually check it out. This will become available once you visited this on the map. Okay. So let's actually check it out. Let's continue. Single player. I like how it defaulted on Peach. I'm gonna try Rosalina though. Movie's coming out soon. Nintendo spoiled it today that a certain character from their franchise that is not a Mario character is gonna appear in the movie. Now, I was a little upset about it. I was like, is this an April Fool's? Why would they share that? Can't be real. But I've known the plot of the movie for a while. And, characters like Wart, which is not a spoiler, they showed footage of him. It looks like this character I'm not naming is going to help Mario and Luigi, Yoshi, whoever, get where they need to get to in outer space. That character's going to show up in that role. Okay? So Bowser Jr. The plot is this, simple. Bowser Jr. No spoilers here. Bowser Jr. is trying to rescue his father, who's been given this mini mushroom or what have you, right? And he's going to get him from Mario and Luigi, and he does that. And Rosalina is in the mix, as well as Peach and Toad. They find Yoshi from Brooklyn while they're there or something. I'm not sure how they find him, but I think that's how they find him. He comes to help them, something like that. And eventually, Wart is working with Bowser Jr., and there's a two-front fight that it looks like. It looks like Wart is going against the princesses, and Bowser Jr. is going against the Plumber Brothers and Yoshi. And when they try to link up to stop Bowser from doing his thing, because he's going to get back into power, they need somebody like this character who may have a certain aircraft to help them get where they're going. So I'm excited for that. Could Wario still be in the movie? We'll see. We'll see if Wario's in there. Oh no, it's another one of those awful plants. We got the prince. Okay. Haven't played this in forever. Look at that. The ghosts are on. What is all of this? We've been here before, though. Let's just try this out. We're going to try out random levels. Again, we've already beat this game. I believe I already streamed it. Haven't played it in so long. I caved and paid the $20 even though I didn't want to. Hold Y and move to dash. Okay. What the crap? You forget that the annoying flower is here as well. Dang it. The barrels were in my way. Those ghosts sure passed me. I got this though. I beat him! Yeah! Save the world. So there was Daisy there.
Fantastic.
Luma helping me. So yeah, we're just gonna mess around with this for a little bit. Been playing a lot of Pokopia. Wi-Fi is on. Standees, greetings. Pedal Isles. What is up with all this? This is for badges. Let's go in here and see what we got. No siree. We're not doing any of that.
Hey.
Jet Run. Special World. Not ready for any of that. It's this journey together and all of that. I'm really just trying to go to the beginning as Rosalina and play some of these worlds.
Here we go.
This is the beginning. Welcome to the Flower Kingdom. I'll like to join you whenever you're streaming. Okay. I'm not really a Discord person, unfortunately. But, you know, you might want to be dropping your friend codes in here if you want to play Switch games with me. Ew, elephant, Rosalina? Not sure how I feel about that. I got Luigi stand-ins and everything. I don't like these ghost modes on. I gotta turn that off. What does it look like when Rosalina goes through the pipes? Nothing like Mario when he goes through the pipes and has to grab his hat and everything. Not forget, you got to get all these little coins. Oh, you know what? There you go. Wonderful! I didn't touch the top of the flag, though.
Hey, you're doing great.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Perfect.
This says Andre. I wonder if it's Andre from Game Explain.
Here we go.
Piranha plants on parade, is that what that said? Yeah, like, seems something like Rage Against the Machine, Bulls on Parade. And I immediately lose it! Go away, man. The game is so colorful, I didn't even see that. I will take this, though. One of the draws in this was, hey, you know what? It's in 4K. So for $20, I'm paying for a 4K colorful Mario game. Do I just kill all of them? And their annoying songs? Or do I just survive all of this? That's really what it seems like. You just gotta survive all this crap. Standees are like what? Checkpoints or something? Yeah, I guess you just were supposed to survive it.
I don't see that every day.
Wonderful! I did that. I'll take that.
Thank you.
Wanna chat?
Not really, but I mean, if you want to talk, you can. Only during these kind of videos, though. I don't want you being chatty in other videos. It's Mario related, I guess it's fine. So, I mean, that was just 2 stages. That's so weird. We did those 2. And then we whisked away from here. There's a badge there. Let's check this out. Did we never do this? Oh, so this is how you do the park. Oh, that's why we never did it, because it was never there. A minecart. Is it going to be like DK minecarts? A cutscene. So many characters. Luigi, Toadette, the other Toads are with the princesses. And then Nabbit and Yoshi together. Makes you wonder who came up with Nabbit. Like, how is Nabbit getting in a Mario game before Wario and Waluigi? Like a, you know, platformer that is. So those are those bells. Koopa Kids have taken them all. You know, every time I see the Koopa Kids, I just have flashbacks. Like, my whole life, they've been a part of it. That's crazy. Flowers are here to catch our fall. Flower, did you catch us?
Did you know the planet is spinning?
I mean, which makes it even crazier how you were able to catch us. In charge of deliveries, okay. So she's got this weird outfit on. Okay, so we are supposed to do that. I was just, you know, subconsciously doing that, I guess. I just wanted to get all of these. Is there a boss battle or something here? What's happening here? Oh, I forgot the clown car. Or copter, or whatever you want to call that thing. Oh, that's how we hurt them. I can't say that this is really challenging. Maybe you hit them before they hit you? That's what it looks like. Okay. So now they're real angry. That's the problem here. You got a Bella Bell flower. Okay. So, you know, is this extra content like platforming, or is it going to be like a Mario Party thing? That I haven't really figured out yet. That didn't look like a Mario Party thing, but, you know, you could have done that with more people, I suppose.
Quiet days can be nice too.
They can. Quiet evenings could be nice as well. But, you know, I'm not going to tell you to be quiet or anything. We're lucky that they didn't make off with the largest treasure. There's Captain Toad. But now the Koopalings have flown off with most of the treasures. Okay. So they, in other words, they've got the flowers. Okay, one of my YouTube videos is done rendering. Amen. Let's see where the nearest... And I have a bad time reading this stuff, y'all. My reading comprehension is shot over the years. I can't even read comic books anymore. They're just stacking up. It takes me a while to, like... I used to be able to read every sentence and absorb it all. Now I'm just, like, skimming through lines. And it's getting bad to where I do it in video games, too. Ride the minecart again to go back. Okay. So we defeated Bowser, but now we have his lackeys. Okay.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I guess.
Okay.
Now, if we play more of this, we're not necessarily playing as Rosalina. We're just doing this now to show Rosalina. We'll probably be switching to Mario at any moment. Okay, enlisted the Toad Brigade. What is happening here, though? Bella Bell water. I don't have enough water.
I don't know.
And I'm aware my capture card is conking out on me at times. But we got the streaming fine without it happening every 2 minutes. And the video is not choppy, and it still looks 4K. Matter of fact, the graphics look better than my webcam does, right? But every, I'd say, couple hours, it's been showing me that I've got to do stuff to where I have to cut out certain parts of videos, and you guys miss stuff because. Let's see, characters. Can I change to Mario on the fly?
It's a me.
Yeah, it's me, alright. Oh, he looks weird in this flower outfit. He looks like he's, I don't know, going to a play or something. Why is this flower not talking? My flower talks.
What's the moon doing?
I don't know what the moon is doing. And honestly, I don't know how to interact with any of this. Camp Central. I don't know that I want to do that. Play in local multiplayer or try game rooms. I want to check things out solo. Now this could be something we do.
Central of Bella Bell Park.
Something we could do game
The
nights.
Poplins who have joined the Toad Brigade are in the midst of setting up the various attractions. To the left is the local multiplayer plaza.
Okay, so it is like Mario Party.
Or play co-op with
I'm not
others
saying
in
it's as
local
good as
multiplayer
Mario Party, but it's got the aesthetic here.
To the right is the Game Room Plaza. This is where intense competitions are held. Hop into a game room to play.
Not sure I'm ready for that right now.
Finally, in the center, you will find the Attraction Tour. Here, Wiggler will serve as your guide for all of the exciting attractions. Why not invite someone to play with you?
So we did have that one person watching, but, you know, they haven't shared the friend code or anything. So let's do this tour thing. It's not quite set up yet. Awesome. So, I guess you can't really do the tour thing. Local multiplayer, not really wanting to do that. All of this is multiplayer though. Versus no solo games, man. Look at this, jump challenges. Jump challenge. That looks fun. Build away donut block maker. Mario, get up there. You're making me look bad. He literally just fell off this thing. Really what I want to know is, like, why did it zoom out? Do I get something for hitting all of... Do I get something for hitting all of these? It's the only reason why I'm entertaining this. So we hit the 1. There's 2. That was for nothing. There's like a pipe or something back there. When you're competing in either propeller flower race or the flat jet race, speed increase. Okay. Sure, one more. No, that's enough. Thanks for the scoops, though. Okay, sure. Why is all this stuff unavailable? I have to be playing with other people? Just where's the CPU on this? No, I wanted to see the hippo joint. They're not trying to show you anything. I really don't know what Nintendo is thinking with this. Well, I mean, I guess I know, but like... Okay. So let's exit all this. Nothing we can really do here now, but it was nice to show it. And we'll revisit some of this when we have people who can play with me. Okay, so I guess we'll leave here. Back to Camp Shuttle. They just made like... They try to make it like some kind of Disney World? I don't know what they were thinking here. But we at least did the little showdown with the Koopalings. And unlock this whole area. That was a goal right there too. So we at least did that. Brigade 10. So let's actually check that out. None of these look new. We've done all these. Oh, that is the brigade tent. Urgent recruit report. Okay. Let's check it out. Wendy's Showdown. When in flower form, press Y to launch a flower. So is it like one Koopa kid per world and they're all in these tents? Is that what took me a while to put together? You got a friend request. Oh, look at that. Someone did request, so let's look and see who requested. Nick 91, Mario Bros. Wonder. We'll become friends, Nick. Sure. Assuming the 91 is because you were born in 1991. Your name is different from you following me on Twitch, but I appreciate all the followers, like I said. So I feel like we do need this. Oh man, that was scary. Not gonna lie. Scary, not like, ah, but like, oh, I almost got hit. I'm really not trying to get hit right now. So here's a checkpoint. See, these ghosts are really messing with me. It's like, y'all are in the way. When I say ghosts, I mean like the, you know, the CPU people. Not CPU people, but like the, you know, time trials people. You know, let's turn, can I not turn that off? Player options. No, that's not what I wanted. Settings. I want the spectators on. Online. Gotta get those ghosts off. Alright, let's just continue. We'll just have to deal with that later. I was looking at the chat and got hit. So I don't know if Nick was trying to actually play now or what. But we're not going to be playing for much longer anyway. I got to get to bed. Fortunately, I lost the flower. Oh, but we got another flower. Good job, bird. How are we supposed to take care of her? Do we just jump on her? Okay, we just jump on her. I'm thinking I'm supposed to use the flowers here. Okay, we got a hit there. Does she change her pattern up? She does summon the lackeys, though. The sheep here. I just didn't understand why the flower didn't do anything to him. Okay, they wanted us to have this flower ability. He immediately came back with another flower. Oh, so she's angry? Can I even... Okay, I was able to touch her there. Holy crap. Maybe we'll wait till she, like, calms down? Crap. We knocked her lights out. That's what I'm talking about. It had us in the first half, but we came back in the second half. All right. I didn't get to take a picture of it. But hey, we recorded video. Let's meet up in Bella Bella Park. Okay. Now, way back when this game first came out, the conversation was, is this the best Mario game in a long time? Platformer wise? And yeah, I really enjoyed it. The problem is the replay value is not better than Super Mario World. It has the graphics, right? It has certain gimmicks that Mario World doesn't have. But I don't know that it holds up as, well as Super Mario World. Okay, y'all, that's gonna do it for me. I had fun with it for what it was. If you would do me a solid and subscribe, that would help out a lot. I'm pointing the wrong way. Yeah, subscribe, comment, like, share, all that jazz. That helps out a lot, especially on YouTube. Twitch, you guys keep doing your thing and popping up. I appreciate that too. Share the videos. The clips don't stay there forever on Twitch, but I'm there every week at least once. I appreciate all you. Any words from you, Flower?
Was I sleeping with my eyes open again?
You were asleep. It's okay though. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one of the Yellow